All right, I got cut off in the middle of the chapter there, so I'm continuing on chapter 8. To someone looking on, I may have been judged as less than what I had been before because I could not process information like a normal person. Again, that's that self-awareness of, the ego knowing that it can't keep up. It's not normal, right? I was saddened by the inability of the medical community to know how to communicate with someone in my condition. She was in she's a neuroanatomist. She's been in the medical field her whole life, and at 37 years old, she's realizing that the medical community has no idea how to communicate with someone that is in extremely dire situation on the edge of death. And it saddened her. It's extremely sad that we as humans, these people are in the medical community, they're supposed to be caring and giving, high levels of care to people, and they're making things more stressful for people. But then through their virtue signaling and their status and socially, it's, well, I'm the authority, so do what I say. But I don't need that. I don't need to do what you say. I need to relax. I need some love. I need some kindness. I need some gentleness. No, take this, do that, do this. Yeah, it's completely inhuman, all of our industries of care. Stroke is the number one disabler in our society, and 4 times more strokes occur in the left hemisphere, impairing language. I think it is vitally important that stroke survivors share and communicate about how each of their brains strategized recovery. In doing so, our medical professionals could be more effective during those initial hours of treatment and assessment. I wanted my doctors to focus on how my brain was working rather than on whether it worked according to their criteria or timetable. No, because you're just another number. They got many other people to get to. You're just another number. They're in, they're checking on you, they're out. They're in, they're checking on you, you're out. You have to perform while they're there, or all you are is just notations on a chart. That's all you are. It's the medical industry. It's an industry. If they were there to heal anybody, if they were there to fix anybody, then they wouldn't be in business. And I don't know any business in the world that's going to purposefully put themselves out of business by getting rid of their own customers. It's an industry. I still knew volumes of information, and I was simply going to have to figure out how to access it again. It really was fascinating for me to watch and experience myself during those earliest stages of recovery. Because of my academics, I intellectually conceptualized my body as a compilation of various neurological programs. But it wasn't until this experience with stroke that I really understood that we all have the ability to lose pieces of ourselves one program at a time. I never really pondered what it would be like to lose my mind, more specifically, my left mind. I wish there were a safe way to induce this awareness in people. It might prove to be enlightening. And that just goes to show it's exactly like she says, because of my academics, I intellectually conceptualized my body as a compilation of various neurological programs. But it wasn't until this experience with stroke that I really understood that we all have the ability to lose pieces of ourselves one program at a time. And then she says, I wish there were a safe way for people to induce this awareness in people. It might prove to be enlightening. There is, first of all, you can do hallucinogenics. You can do mushrooms. Hallucinogenics are awesome for realizing that there's more to this existence than just this physical, enslavement and entrapment we're in. That will definitely prove to you. You do some mushrooms and take trips, that'll definitely prove to you that there's more to this existence. But the way that we are doing it is through detaching and healing. That is the true healing process. Detaching and healing, guys. That is the way that we induce this feeling in people. That is the way we realize that there's so much more to this life than keeping up with the Joneses, than having to stress out and basically slowly kill ourselves trying to keep up with social society and standards, because it's constantly fluctuating. It's impossible. They are sacrificing the individual for a social construct, for a cultural construct. And if you can't keep up, you get ground up and slung under the wheels of the machine and forgotten about. And it's as simple as that. That's why this detaching and healing is so important, because we are only in this physical body for so long. And, could you imagine becoming a vegetable or something happening to you where you had to be taken care of? What kind of existence is that? So if you think that all that is to your consciousness is this physical existence, and your physical existence is hell, then why even stay alive? It's because there's so much more to it than that. There's so much more to it than that. And by detaching and healing, you're getting your power back. And instead of feeling like a vulnerable victim to everything that comes along that stamps down on you, which is this whole fucking construct in this whole world, you can remember that you are whole and that you have everything that you need. You need nothing outside of you, and that you're powerful, you're able, you're capable, you're intelligent, you're empathetic, you're all encompassing. You need nothing. And detachment and healing is the way to do it. Like I said, hallucinogenics is a great way to free your mind. If you're stuck in that left brain, hallucinogenics is an incredible way to start, to jumpstart your journey out of this fucking, one set mind that it's all this physical body and you have to attain all the toys and the money and the status in this world, and that's what we're here for. It's all horse shit. Imagine, if you will, what it would feel like to have each of your natural faculties systematically peeled away from your consciousness. First, imagine you lose your ability to make sense of sound coming in through your ears. You are not deaf. You simply hear all sound as chaos and noise. Second, remove your ability to see the defined forms of any objects in your space. You are not blind. You simply cannot see three-dimensionally or identify color. You have no ability to track an object in motion or distinguish clear boundaries between objects. In addition, common smells become so amplified that they overwhelm you, making it difficult for you to catch your breath. No longer capable of perceiving temperature, vibration, pain, or proprioception, which is the position of your limbs, your awareness of your physical boundaries shift. The essence of your energy expands as it blends with the energy around you, and you sense that you are as big as the universe. Those little voices inside your head reminding you of who you are and where you live become silent. You lose memory connection to your old emotional self, and the richness of this moment, right here, right now, captivates your perception. Everything, including the life force you are, radiates pure energy. With childlike curiosity, your heart soars in peace, and your mind explores new ways of swimming in a sea of euphoria. Then ask yourself, how motivated would you be to come back to a highly structured routine? I mean, there you go. And that's the thing, is why would you want, with this healing, this detachment and healing, see, she wanted to come back. She healed. Oh, it took her like 10, 12 years to fully heal. And, she wrote the book and everything. And she got back into the medical field, and she's a neuroanatomist again. She got right back into the play, into the grand scheme of things, into the whole illusion. She jumped right back in. Her whole healing was just to physically heal the left side of her brain so she could jump right back into the same shithole she was in. And that's what I'm saying, is that people go through these experiences and then they think that's all there is. And they're so wrong. This is so wrong. There's so much more to this. She got a glimpse and a glimmer, and she just refused to recognize because of her ego. She did not crush her ego. Her ego held on and said, I got to come back. I got to come back. Come back to what? To the scheme? You got to fit back into your character in the play? Sure, she changed. Now, by the end of the book, she realized I changed my character. She changed a bunch of things, and that she forgot about her past. She gave her past up, which that's what I'm saying with the healing and this whole healing process. It is not forgetting about the past. It is not just going, I'm not that person. You have to face that shit. You have to face it head on, because until it's dealt with and processed through you, it is hanging on. That stuff, it hangs on inside of your body. It hangs on inside of your being until you process it. This is so important. I'm going to read this again, because this is very important to understand. The essence of your energy expands as it blends with the energy around you, and you sense that you are as big as the universe. So when you aren't kept in this box, that's what this whole physical existence and realm and illusion set up to do, to put you in a box, to make you feel like you're this fucking small, and to achieve or get anything outside of that box, you have to accomplish something. You have to do something. You have to blood, sweat, and tears it. You have to dog eat dog. You have to achieve. You have to learn. You have to prove yourself. You have to gather and acquire diplomas and proof that you are knowledgeable in order to move out of that box. No, that's all horseshit, guys. That's all fucking horseshit. That is the shit that makes us sick and diseased, because that goes completely against our biological being. Those little voices inside your head reminding you of who you are and where you live become silent. It's no longer there because it's false. It's bullshit. You lose memory connection to your old emotional self because that was just the ego. In the richness of this moment, right here, right now, captivates your perception, because when you heal, as you're healing, you realize that all we have and all we are is the here and now. What are you doing now? Well, are you just being, or are you projecting yourself into the future? Are you making plans and plotting and going, oh, I'm going to do this one day, and how am I going to get there, and all this? And that's ridiculous. It's ignorance. Or are you throwing your perception behind you in the past? Oh, this is what happened to me. This is why I'm the way I am. This is all because of this, and this, and this, and this, and da, 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 da. Now, look at me. I'm broken. I'm doing everything I can. Feel sorry for me. And then you virtue signal to show. No, that's all horseshit. All of that has to be faced. That's what I'm saying. It all has to be faced and dealt with. You have to pull those monsters out from under your bed. You have to pull them out of the closet. You have to face the demons in the dark. You have to jump into the abyss. You have to do this. You got to, in order to fix, to truly heal. Otherwise, everything else is just putting a Band-Aid over this shit. And when you do that, the richness of this moment right here, right now, will captivate your perception. And it's beautiful. It's amazing. It's life-altering. It's a complete 180 from our existence today, now. And it all comes through healing, through honesty, through being honest with yourself and facing this shit and doing the work that it takes to heal. Everything, including the life force you are, radiates pure energy. With childlike curiosity, your heart soars in peace and your mind explores new ways of swimming in a sea of euphoria. Then ask yourself, how motivated would you be to come back to a highly structured routine? It says it all right there. I did a lot of sleeping that afternoon of the stroke. Do I need to even finish this? I don't think I need to finish this. Yeah, I don't think I even need to finish this. Yeah. Yep, I think that's good. But that's powerful, guys. Again, this is coming from a neuroanatomist. She must have been in college for 8, 10 years, 12 years to get her PhD, whatever it was. extremely buried into this system. She had all her eggs in this basket, in this physical basket, and she had a chance to fully recover. She had a chance to heal herself, to face her shit. And instead, she did face slightly some things here and there, but mainly it was just about, being strong and healing and the will to survive and all this stuff, where she's missing, even her herself is missing the underlying things that are going on in her story. And that's where the true magic is. That's where the true, essence of our being is at. And the true power of the healing and the change she could have made had she, grasped and not given back into that ego. Even when her left side was shut down, she was still living in ego and supporting that ego because she was still thinking through that ego. So the ego is the left and right side of the brain, and the soul is the supervisor of that. And that's what I'm saying. The soul cannot deal with all of that. The soul will not allow you. Your soul is not going to allow you to go back after you recognize this stuff, if it's truly a life-altering thing, and go back and jump back into this enslavement that we're in. Why would you even do that? Why? That comes from ego. That comes from the scared programming of, having to fit into this society and this culture. Once you're healed, you don't feel any necessity to, if you can't make money, you can't make money. You're going to figure it out. Things are going to be okay. That's why, you're giving up, you're detaching from all these breads and circuses, because if you realize, hey, I can go weeks without eating. Hey, I'm fully healed and capable to adapt to weather changes. I can survive outside. I can do these things. And when you are in that mindset and you have given up the power of these constructs of having to live in a big house with, a huge fridge and stores everywhere around you for whatever you might need at any moment, being able to shop online to get whatever you want, and being able, anytime you feel uncomfortable, to do dopamine hits and hit the breads and circuses and take your mind off of what really matters. When you face all this shit and you choose to live in spirit and soul, none of this shit matters. None of it. None of the earthly possessions, again, your possessions possess you. Everything you own owns you. It owns you in your subconscious, because in your subconscious you are constantly, it weighs on you. That's what I'm saying. All of this stuff is superfluous. Outside of you, everything else is superfluous. You don't need it. It's unnecessary. But yeah, leave me comments below, guys. I think there's so many great points in these 2 chapters that I read. So it's a total of 4 videos. There's so many good points. It is so many unbelievable insights. And I just enjoyed it because, this is coming from somebody who was living in her left brain her whole life and played the whole game, went to college for 10, 12 years, got her PhD, had all the status, sat on the board, international boards for brain injuries and stuff. And so, I just found it very insightful to see her honesty with her experience, but also as insightful, I found what she missed, what she glossed over in order to heal, just to get back into playing this game, into joining the illusion again, into being part of the Shakespearean play and a part of the drama again. She had for so long put so much of the importance into being a doctor and her status that, yeah, she came out of it on the other side probably more empathetic and more, with more understanding of how the brain works, and more in a greater connection to that other side other than just the physical, but she missed so much. She missed the whole idea of our enslavement, the whole root of why, she was even having a conflict in her head in the first place. But yeah, I've found it very insightful. This has really helped me. And again, with all the brain injuries I've had, where she talks about how unbelievable it is that the medical community is so like detached from the emotion and the empathy for the people that they supposedly care for that are under their care. And I just remember, being frightened. I got to the point I was scared to death to have to go into any kind of doctor's office anymore. After being made fun of, told I was a liar, told I was imagining things, told all kinds of, it was nasty. It was disgusting. They were straight up abusive at so many doctors that were straight up, just outright abusive towards me. That if I had it on film, on camera, the things they said to me and the things they did to me, it was just disgusting. It would make your stomach turn. It would put a tear in your eye. And, that's with a young man, I can't imagine, what they would do to the more vulnerable of us, that go in there under their supposed care. It makes me extremely sad, extremely sad that people have to go through this, and that we, have been taught that, enforce the propaganda that the medical community, the medical establishment, the medical hierarchy is there for our good, when they're really not. They're there to make a dollar. So remember, guys, take care of yourself, because no one else will.